needed to be shared. And I don't think our mainstream media is covering it well. So I was grateful that Trump had an uninterrupted hour to share everything that was happening, because it's a lot. And I'll move myself down. Gary, thank you.
Thank you, Monica. To the feel-good stories, every State of the Union or joint address to joint session of Congress, the president will do that. Whoever the president is, whether Democrat or Republican, they will present these feel-good stories. They're an attempt to make us feel good as a nation, to kind of bring us together. And the fact that those feel-good stories were not applauded by some of the members of Congress, I find appalling. Marshall, you had a question?
No, I did. This is Naveen.
No, I didn't have a question for you. Naveen, just hold on a second. We'll get to you. He's going in the order that's on his phone.
No, I'm not sure what you said at the end there. It kind of garbled in my ears, but we'll move on.
I was telling Naveen that you'll get to him in the order that's on your phone.
Oh, yeah. I don't even see Devine on the list.
King Nath.
Oh, King Nath, okay. Yeah, I call people in the order in which I see them, not the order in which you see yourself. Please be patient. I always get to everybody who's in the queue.
Was that me, Gary?
If your name is Steve.
Yeah, that would be me, Gary. Gary, I was looking at this poll said 76% of the polled people felt positive about the speech. I guess you could take that there's some support for what he's trying to accomplish. Maybe that's a good thing for the people that are in that camp. I thought there's parts of the speech that was appropriate. I thought there's parts that maybe he could have just maybe mentioned, not highlighted to the degree he did. But to Anson's point, that what we seen last night was just the schism that's just seems to be getting out of control. And I think the problem I have is when we look at that and in the light of what we see unfold in the speech and the audience and everybody associated with it, a lot of times when you get great divides in groups, the most radical and boisterous, maybe not the most reasoned person, comes to the fore and starts representing that group. So you get a distortion of what the group as a whole really believes, but you get the most terrible voices from both sides, and that's a concern I have. By and large, I think I kind of agree with where he's trying to go. I think there's really, though, if we don't find some way to get along together, I came away from it enjoying some of the things they said, but I came away from it with a sickening feeling in my stomach for where we are as a culture. I felt a little nauseated by all participants, and I don't know how you untie that knot, Gary. I really don't. And I guess I'll leave it there because there's a lot of people on stage, but like I say, there was a lot of it that I kind of agreed with it. The general atmosphere and tone between the people was very disconcerting. I came away from the whole thing not feeling good about our both political parties and the nation as a whole, and it gave me a lot of concern.
Steve, you just summed up the way I thought of some of that. It was really disconcerting to see the divide. Granted, both parties have, done their own work to make the divide larger. It's just noticing that we're there is, of course, a really disturbing thing.
So the president, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, and if we, the bad part about this is as a nation, if we enter into some kind of crisis, geopolitical war, whatever the crisis may be, and we're more concerned about tearing each other's throats out than protecting each other as a nation. I don't know where you go with that, Gary. I really don't. And I lean to the right, but this goes beyond left and right. This goes culture, and this goes to the social compact and how we live together and how we agree on how we're going to live together. It's very disconcerting.
So I think what you just said goes right to the heart of the matter, Steve. The president is not a unifying kind of person. He's a larger-than-life individual, and he engenders strong emotions. They could be strong emotions in support of him, and in the minds of many of his supporters, he can do no wrong. And it can also engender strong feelings of opposition to him, and in the minds of some of his opponents, he can do no right. And maybe you need a person of this character to shake things up and make the changes necessary to make Washington work again. But there's a price to pay for it, and that's what we are seeing right here. And I really appreciate your commentary, Steve.
Well, one last thing, Gary, and I'll get out of the way. I believe this pot of water was boiling before Donald Trump, and I think he's a manifestation, like I say, of groups when they get so divided. The most extreme of that element tend to rise towards the top to represent that element, and I think we'll see it in both camps, and it's we're in for a ride.
I agree. Thank you, Steve. My good friend Shane.
Hey, Gary. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I always enjoy your discussion and love to listen to you guys. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna watch, and you know why. But then I'm really curious. I want to see what's going on, and in the middle of it, I fall asleep because to me it's too long. And my observation also about Donald Trump is, although he's a showman, it's his opportunity to be in control and tell stories from his point of view. A lot of issues are not true, and yet I see he looks very tired. He actually looks tiring. He's not in sort of good health, and it's very awkward to watch this State of Union. And so the State of Union is supposed to be having the president have an opportunity to exercise, his power, his leadership to tell, the Congress and tell the nation and to make suggestions or tell what's going on right now. I feel there's no inspiration in this myself. There's a lot of separation, the Democrat wear red, pink outfit and people holding the stand, which doesn't really bother me too much because it's not really violent, but it's also kind of awkward, and you can see him shaking hands only to one side of, the aisle, and the other side, he doesn't even turn around, and the other side kind of don't even look at him. So those things are very awkward. And then in terms of his content of his speech is so long, such as like there's so many things that are not true. He blamed the eggs. Lacking of the eggs is Biden's fault, which is not true. It's the disease already happened before, and he's talking about what else? He's talking about what did I say? Let me remember. He talks about he's inherited the incredible, difficult, I don't know what it is right now, economy from Biden administration. That's not true, So just there's so many things. Of course, certain things maybe he touched that he's supposed to touch. I just don't feel like being inspired, and I'm just feeling really disappointed and feeling his authoritarian speech and everything he does is right. And then what about our nation? What about our future? There's not enough encouragement to me as an American citizen. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
What counts as fascist language or dictator-like language in your view? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this. I'm just curious if you have a particular view on it. We're trying to figure out the examples you used in your head, so it makes sense to me.
Well, at the very beginning, he comes out, he says something like, he's turned this country this and that, as if he's the only one can make this country greater again. That it's just like a very divisive kind of a encouragement to his supporters, and then in the other hand, talking down to people who are opposing him. There's just tone as a voice. It's always like that. You don't feel that is because you and I would have different stands, right? Yeah.
No, the reason I do have a slightly different position, but the reason I ask is because when we're talking about what a dictator does, there are a bunch of U.S. presidents that have acted in similar fashions to Trump. Now, I don't know of any president, to be fair to you, who has done that kind of a State of the Union speech and as long. Excuse me. But it does seem to me that part of the criticism of the current president, I'm not a giant fan of him, is that he is taking the presidency's powers and using them fully. There have been lots of presidents who have talked about being the only people that can solve problems. And so the reason I was trying to understand what you meant was because in my head, the dictator-like language, I don't really know what that means. But you are right, you have a slightly different position. But thank you so much for answering my question. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Marshall.
Ching, I especially liked your observation about how he entered the chamber and how he gave his attention to the Republicans and not the Democrats, and conversely, the Democrats tended to ignore him. Typically, when they have a president invited to give it, whether it is, by the way, technically it was not a State of the Union address, it was an address to a joint session of Congress, but that's just a technicality, really. But generally, when a president does a joint speech or the State of the Union, the Sergeant at Arms says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States," and everybody, even his strongest political opponent, gets up, yay, and applauds, and the president is all smiles, and he walks down the aisle, and he turns to the left, and he shakes the hands of people on the left, and he turns to the right, and he shakes the hands of the people on the right. It's a unifying moment, and it speaks to how this country has traditionally accepted transitions of power for what they are. You win some, you lose some, the rest get rained out. But in this case, that's not what happened. That's a tremendous observation that kind of escaped me. Maybe I was too busy working, trying to report on what was going on to notice that nuance. Very important observation. Thank you, Ching. There are a lot of people that are trying to get on stage. Sorry, no additional people because of the time. However, we will go into extra time to give everybody who's in queue an opportunity to speak. If you want to make your opinion known, click on the link at the top, join the messenger chat, and fire away. Please, however, follow the same rules as we do in the room. Treat each other with respect. And with that, we go on to Jordan.
Thank you. Fascinating conversation. Donald Trump, as much as I don't care for him, he has mastered an appreciation for the attention economy, and he's a creature of instinct. He's not a learned individual in the regard that I think of people as. And so, Democrats have failed to understand that he's constantly looking for views, not validation. And it's something that we all could, quite frankly, learn from. I'm not saying it's something that I endorse or support, but it's the way to win in this attention economy influenced by algorithms, right? You kind of stuff knowledge into the system so that you're more likely to be visible rather than worry about the quality. So it's all about quantity. And, the great paradox is that he instinctually understands the soundbite. He understood that with reality television. He understood that with the media in New York when he was, building his brand, so to speak. And so, he doesn't have to validate or validate us, inspire us. He just sees it as an opportunity to get the most exposure in the shortest amount of time. And now that he has the platform as the president of the United States, he had however many hours to sit there. And really, essentially, when you break it down, it was just one soundbite after another. There wasn't a narrative or a story to really share. Sure, he shared a couple details about individuals, inspirational stories to kind of feed us and sustain our attention. But fundamentally, he hasn't changed as a person, a public official, etc. And it just amazes me because, of all the things I've been involved in, digital marketing is the least intellectual of any enterprise I can think of. And yet the Democrats have not figured out ways to combat this person who is simply a creature of instinct, not a Rhodes Scholar. And so if I leave people with anything, it's that, remember, he's thinking about views and not validating anything that he says. Credentials don't matter. Credibility doesn't matter. It's just visibility. And so it was just kind of a fascinating thing to watch. And quite frankly, I didn't even have the attention span to watch the whole thing. I got to go back and look at it myself. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Cindy Lane.
I have two questions. First, I'm going to disclose I did not see this, I did not hear the speech. But my question is, was the pipeline brought up at all in the speech?
I don't know. I didn't hear.
I don't think he ever.
Working?
Drill baby drill, what the fuck do you think that means, you dumb twat?
Pipeline, did he?
No, all he mentioned was drilling permits
All right.
and how they were in comparison to Obama or Biden drilling permits. Sorry.
All right, my other thing is fentanyl. It's killing our children. I was in Arizona. I went to get help. I went to a rehab hospital, and I couldn't get in for 8 hours because they're killing our children with this fentanyl. There's enough fentanyl out there to kill all of us. Was that mentioned in the speech?
They mentioned immigration and drug interdiction, but I don't think the word fentanyl was ever actually used.
It's killing our children. I watched.
Well, the sad part, Cindy, is that it comes in mostly
20
through
and
ports
30
of
years
entry.
old. Wait, I watched between 20 and 30 years old. I watched at least 8 patients go past me with oxygen masks, and it was all due to fentanyl. When I was in Arizona, I'm now in Illinois, and I'm thankful to be here. Thank you for this room.
Thank you, Cindy. For me. Hermes?
Yes, Gary, sorry about that. I will keep it very short, but to me, when I when I saw the speech. It didn't make me feel good. I got sick to my stomach, and I told myself that's possibly what the Germans felt when Hitler spoke. Thank you for the mic, Gary.
Thank you.
Donald Trump and Hitler are not the same thing.
Dominic.
Hey, Gary.
Hey.
Happy Wednesday. So I was thinking stylistically, some of us have actually made a living either giving or writing speeches. And I kind of looked at his speech in two contexts. One, its style. And I guess you would call it unsophisticated, effectiveness over eloquence. And I think what the message was that he came in with is that the second time is no surprise. It is no accident that Donald Trump is president of the United States. And I think that the kind of political combat that we experience nowadays, where I don't want to get too where cultural Marxism meets capitalism, and that there is that he recognizes that he's in political combat and is not afraid of the fight. The other point I wanted to make is that he really did hit the grace notes very well. So the combination of his willingness to engage in combat, political combat that is, and at the same time utilize grace in a strategic way, I thought was well formed from a sort of like looking at the speech objectively. Hope someone else can add to that. It was not scholastic. It's not going to be confused with Obama, 2008, when he said that a more perfect union speech, or certainly no Churchill. You remember Churchill's "We shall fight on the beaches," and certainly not MLK. His "I have a dream" speech. Didn't have the lyrical quality. Wasn't FDR a day that will live in infamy? Or the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. He is a different animal, not a trained politician, not a trained orator. Someone like Trotsky or Mao Zedong, who had perfected oratory as a revolutionary weapon. Donald Trump is not of that. He's not structured in that way. Okay, so he's I would think he would be considered an illiterate when it comes to cultural Marxist linguistic skills. He's not going to write.
There's a difference in communication skills.
Dialectical materialism. But he is an effective soldier in political combat. And I don't know if we are willing to be honest about the combat that we're engaged in as a society. He might even consider himself a wartime president. And I know that some of the Democrats sitting there also believe they're in wartime, political war. So I found this speech interesting in that context. He's, as far as I guess I'll go back to my original point that it's really effectiveness over eloquence. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Dominic. We'll now go to David.
Hey, Gary, can you hear me?
No.
No.
Yes, of course.
I can hear him.
Okay.
Well, if I couldn't hear you, I couldn't have answered you no.
That's true. That's true.
Well, David's not that smart.
I think that for those that can see what's happening, there's a hijacking afoot of our government, led by a billionaire in Musk and our current president. We're seeing technologists take over and utilize AI to reorder the way our money may be spent, our safeguards and our guardrails, the evisceration of protection agencies, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau being one. We've seen the pushback from FFA union leaders that they are firing essential workers. That makes our skies safe. I mean, there's a whole host of unintended consequences that are playing out. And Trump bloviates for 2 hours about how we're going to make America great again.
It was an hour, faggot.
And yet, his vice president and his Secretary of State and the Speaker of the House and everybody else that was in the room, I get what you're saying, Gary, that there was collegiality, bad collegiality on both sides of the aisle. And I think the Democrats don't know what to do but to make a whole lot of noise, the way that Marjorie Taylor Greene made a whole lot of noise back when Biden was president, and I'm not sure if she was around when Obama was president, but I don't know how we unravel in 2 short months. In 2 short months, the game plan has been tilting Putin's way, giving license to these oligarchs, these autocrats that they're anti-democratic, they're anti-rules of governance. And what's in it for him? What's in it for Trump? What's America going to get out of this? And I hope that it's something that we can all benefit from, because the world, it appears, is a lot less safe with what's been transpired, particularly with regard to Zelensky in Ukraine, and how this leader who's fought valiantly on behalf of his people, along the lines of other democratic campaigns that we fought in the past. We don't know what the world's going to look like, Gary. And we have China on the other side coming out saying they're ready to go to war with us. We've alluded to the deficiencies in our defense. This is a hostile world, Gary, that we. And what are we delivering to our future generations? You know, we see also the dismantling of environmental safeguards, the desire to keep drilling oil ad nauseum until we choke off the planet. I don't know what the unintended consequences of that, other than the hurricanes and fires that I've been living through here in Los Angeles, and other families have been living through with hurricanes in Florida, and all the other things that are going on. So the speech was high on optimism and bluster and optics, but what's happening behind the scenes is anything but. I think when we saw the mile-long protest of Vance trying to enjoy a ski vacation, is signs of how the resistance is fomenting against this administration, and I don't think it's going to end. Thank you.
Yeah, I think showing up at his vacation is tacky and slow rant.
He can't have it both ways. He can't be out there front and center saying things and not expect the population to vote for him.
That's not my point.
Okay, well, what do you want us to do, Marshall? How would you like us to address it?
My point is, by interrupting him on a family vacation, you put his family in the way of part of that. criticizing JD Vance is fair all day long.
It was a peaceful protest, Marshall. A peaceful protest.
You're missing the point. When you have a family and you're going to enjoy a vacation, typical American political sense, until I guess it was Maxine Waters who said this during the first Trump administration, that nobody enjoying a public meal out, no one with their family, if they're in political service for Trump, should ever enjoy a peaceful meal. That's not just inflicting that on him. It's inflicting it on his kids. And his kids, as we all know, are off limits. So protest him, fine.
Except if you're Musk's kid, you want a grandstand in the Oval Office.
Protest a vacation, you're going to have a lot of people with opinions like I do, which is like, leave him alone with his family. Protest him when he's back in Washington. That makes a lot more sense than putting his family in the middle of this stuff.
Well, let's point out that this occurred in Vermont, which I looked it up, and I don't have it in front of me, which Kamala Harris won overwhelmingly. And people from Vermont aren't going to travel to Washington, D.C., so here was an opportunity for them to protest Vance. I get your point, Marshall, but from what I could see of the protests, they were just lining the street, holding their signs and maybe booing him as he
I intend to imply that the protest was not within the legal bounds of the law. Let me be very clear. The protest was absolutely in the legal bounds of the law. They were doing nothing that would violate the peace and safety of what was going on around. It just comes across to me as like the wrong.
Are you still talking to this F-word, N-word? Jesus.
In my opinion, that's not a fact. I think it compares a little
Why
bit.
don't you change your PTR, Julian, from a murderer to maybe Jesus who was murdered? You got your priorities all wrong, Julian.
But that's, like I said, that's just an opinion. And it's probably purely stylistic.
Hey, Julian.
So, take it for what it is.
I think a more onerous example of protesting is what's going on.
Yeah, I'm live streaming a Trump derangement syndrome room.
These so-called pro-Palestinian protesters have taken over the library, and there were students in there.
That's my boy Julian. He's my frenemy.
There were classes being held in that building. They're out in the rain, literally, and there were support staff that were cleaning the building.
I don't know. I actually kind of like. There's a tie between Hampton, Julian,
literally,
and Bussy.
Set off a smoke bomb, and there are bomb threats, and there are fire alarms going off.
I like Julian's disposition, but I don't like his low energy. I like Hampton's disposition, but I don't like his stupid energy. And I like Bussy's energy, but I don't like his, F-word, N-word energy.
Students getting an education, so they occupy the building at Barnard because it's just so horrible what's happening in Gaza.
I'll be back. I have to keep
Which,
recording.
by the way, is not
I
happening
have work
right
to
now,
do.
but probably will in the future again. But that's a discussion for another time. Those are the kind of protests that I think we should be finding difficult to accept in our society.
Absolutely. You're 100% right with that.
Thank you. We'll go to El Normo, and then we'll give Scott an opportunity. You're late. I want to note, Scott, and then Brent will get the last word.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me up. Let's see. I thought it was a good speech. I really did. I think the president touched on issues that were of central interest to Americans and to some extent the entire world. He touched on so many things from this whole weird social hysteria that we succumb to of people declaring themselves another gender and then competing at a great advantage to others of a different gender.
And there are very few Americans who are on board with that, and how he somehow fell prey to this social hysteria, I don't know. He spoke about in brief, ending wars by negotiating. And I think that after a few years of war with Ukraine and over about a year and a quarter of war with Palestinian terrorists, I think it is time to end them definitively. I'm on board with that. And if that entails both sides making some concessions, I'm okay with. I think it's what American people want. I think we want this to end so that we can turn our attention to matters such as productivity and security and the economy. Which I guess productivity is related to the economy. Now, he's got this idea, and I think it's a little wild, of bringing manufacturing here. But let's see where he goes with it. It's certainly a different view of doing things. Now, he read through all of the weird things that we're wasting money on. And when he got to the end of it, there was he put a joke on the end that I literally laughed out loud at. I can't remember what the joke was right now. I didn't write it down. If anybody remembers, please interrupt me and say it. Because it's like he's going to list every dumb thing that they found, like what this is getting. But then he actually paid it off with a joke. It was really fun. I'll watch it again then maybe tomorrow I'll tell you what the joke. It was kind of masterful in my opinion as a showman. And let's face it. This is a show, and he put on a show. He talked about people were very concerned about illegal immigration. He's the one that gets the credit for putting that on the front burner, and he's dealing with it, indisputably. The stuff about Canada sounds weird to me, and Mexico, but maybe it's just a negotiating tactic. His thoughts about the Panama Canal make sense, I think, from an American defense point of view. His decision to have Europe step up and contribute to their defense proportionally, I think will make Europe stronger. And by no means is it an indication that we're abandoning Europe. So, he's getting points here. I was appropriately and in a timely manner moved when he spoke about the people who had died, like the guy that died at the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was very moving. And he had the people there. I thought the Democratic side of the aisle came across as very petulant and childish, with their arms folded and stuff. And they set themselves up to be trolled by Trump. I cannot believe he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. He set her up for that as well. So I imagine our party is cooking up some response to him, but we're really on the back foot because we were trying to sell solutions to these problems that had already failed, and pretending that pretending that the problems didn't exist. By the way, I'm with Marshall on the subject of skiing. That's where I taught my kid to ski. So that's a very personal place for me. Vermont. I love Vermont, and I know despite everybody's misgivings, I happen to love Bernie, despite the fact that I think he's wrong now much of the time. I just have an old affection for him, and Vermont loves him. But it's wrong to intimidate a politician's family, and they could not but intimidate him. And I'm shocked that people who are pro-child want to intimidate a man's children for no reason. Trump was selling common sense. And I think the American people need some of that right now. Some of the stuff that he is proposing is very far-fetched. I think he said that we're going to Mars. Yeah, I'm quite sure. said that. But
was that the joke to which you're referring? Norm? Is that the joke to which you were referring?
It's not. It's not. I'm gonna have to watch it again. No, he wasn't. I don't know if he's kidding or not. I mean, Musk tries a lot of things, and a lot of it works. And Musk has pointed out that 90% of the space missions we're doing now are being done by SpaceX and by nobody else at his expense, or maybe the government's contributing. I'm sure the government is contributing. No, he said we're going to Mars, Gary.
The government is buying launches on a schedule. They do it either per quarter or per year. They'll tell Elon and other private companies, hey, we need you to send X, Y material up, and we need to do it on these dates.
I don't want to make Gary late. I got it, Mark. Okay. I don't want to make Gary. SpaceX is our Uber. That we can follow up later. I just don't want to make Gary late. So he did that Morning in America thing that Democrats don't do. Although again, I voted for Biden. I bought his rap. It's like we're going here, we're going there, we're going to make America affordable again. It was rousing, I think, to his constituents, and maybe even to some people who had previously not been his constituents. So, and by the way, on the subject of Colombia, there was somebody on this app yesterday threatening to whip the Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, former Prime Minister, but he still gets the title, threatening to whip his ass on this app yesterday. So as far as I know, that's a federal crime. So just to know that this stuff is going on around us, that these protesters are violent. These people are hitting Jews, they're attacking Jews and others. They are violent protesters. They're threatening violence and they're carrying out violence. So, so I'm on the same page with you on that, Gary. In conclusion, I think for those people who want or like or voted for Trump, it was a home run. And by the way, I don't know if you discussed this. The woman who came after Trump, the Democratic response, nobody ever heard of her before. She was excellent. She, which is why they picked her. Maybe the best Democratic or opposition party response, because I remember the embarrassment of Bobby Jindal, for example, I think to Obama. This woman was terrific. So I have my eye on her for the future. So I think we're right now in a really important correctional moment for the country in terms of common sense, the economy, immigration, and foreign wars. I don't know how it's going to work out. Because of these tariffs. And I'm telling you, I am baffled by the tariffs, as maybe everybody is. But let's see what's on his mind, and let's see what happens when he puts these tariffs. Or maybe they'll back down and stop putting tariffs on our goods. He wants to repatriate manufacturing, which is not a bad idea if we can produce our consumer goods at an affordable price. So that's my review. I think he gets an A, at least, for this speech, and I'll land it there.
So this president is not very well known for making jokes. In fact, I can't recall off the top of my head any jokes that he's ever made, but I do recall in his final State of the Union address 1 year ago to the day of Mr. Trump's address to the joint session of Congress that Mr. Biden began his speech with the comment, if I were smart, I'd go home right now. Scott and then Brett. Scott?
We spend $8 billion to promote LGBTQI plus in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody's ever heard of. That, to me, was one of the funniest and insulting and kind of shameful things to say. But it was a joke, and it did land. I will say that. It was beneath, I think. It was beneath even Trump, but, I don't know that there is such a thing as beneath Trump these days anyway. But no, I think, I think the speech, what a marathon speech. I think a lot. I mean, look, I know you have to go, Gary. I just encourage people to look at the BBC and CNN. Both have fact checking, and no one will be surprised. Lots of falsehoods, okay, on the speech. Half truths, falsehoods, outright lies. But I will say this: lesson for the Democrats: don't try to heckle Don Rickles. Okay, don't try to insult the insult comic, right? I mean, he got the Democrats' goat. I think the Democrats not standing for the kid, for the cancer survivor. I think not applauding that. I think other things. I mean, I just think the Democrats played it badly. I think Trump is better at this game, right? You don't troll the troll, and I think he got their goat. And if I were Trump, this is what I do for the rest of my administration. Just go give speeches in Park Slope and the Mission District of San Francisco, because he's great at it. He's great at trolling, and that's, he won the day last night. I mean, I think, again, the speech was full of weird stuff. I think, but, at the end of the day, I think that Democrats, as far as like better off, if you really think it's this bad, don't go. But don't, try to put the sign behind his back and all this stuff. I thought the Democrats did not look great last night. So there you go. And I know you got to go, Garrett. Thanks. So sorry I was late. I was interviewing. I'll put it up today. One of the best congressional podcasters in the country. Her name's Jennifer Briney. So she does an amazing show. And so we talked about the state of the country and state of Congress. And so there you go.
And when he says he'll put it up, he means he will link to it at the chat in the Facebook Messenger, Critical Thinking Forum chat, which is linked to the top of this room. Brent, you get the link.
So connecting kind of something Steve said and El Normo said, Steve talked about the CBS poll, and absolutely 76% of viewers enjoyed the speech. Unfortunately, you have that with all State of Unions. One reason why State of Unions are largely irrelevant, because your own side watches it. If you actually break it down and compare it, the numbers are lower, and you have a number of people that the number that strongly liked it is actually pretty low. But it's a pretty high number for how partisan the audience is that just somewhat it liked it, which I thought that was accurate, because it was a rambling kind of cluster of a speech. But partisan actors are going to see what partisan actors want to see. And this turns me to my favorite Republican activist, Normo. If a Democratic president had not mentioned Gaza in a speech, would we have gotten kind of the glowing review that Normo just gave? I don't think so, and I don't think that speech was good. I think it was full of lies, but I also think it largely doesn't matter. But somebody like Norm is going to see it with red colored glasses anytime.
I have confronted Norm right here on this stage rather than talking about him as you just have. And I asked him about that. And he has said, and I will take him at his word, that he is a loyal member of the Democratic Party. And as a loyal member of the Democratic Party, he feels that it is his responsibility to support the party when it's right, but criticize the party when it's wrong in the hopes that it will right itself. For example, we just heard Scott criticize some of the Democrats for their demeanor during the speech last night, and I don't think he would say that he is looking at that through red-colored glasses. Maybe a better analogy would be he's like a Jew for Jesus. He's a Democrat for Trump. I don't know. One of the things that Norm has said repeatedly, and I think we all should adhere to this, is that even if we find Donald Trump the most distasteful politician we have ever encountered in our lives, and I believe many people do, we want to hope for his success, not his failure. Now, does that make him, if he says that, and he has, a Republican? I don't think so. Ching earlier commented that she is concerned, and she is clearly not a Trump supporter, but she expressed concern about the president's health. He is, take it or not, like it or not, he is the president of the United States, and she should be concerned about the president's health. I think what you just did, Brent, is exactly what you did with regard to Marshall and me earlier. You've decided who Norm is, and you have to take people at their word. You might not like the fact that as a lifelong Democrat, as Norm says he is, he sees things admirable in Trump. That doesn't make him no longer a card-carrying and a Democratic voting a person, and I think you have to be a little bit careful about that. And just admonishing you for the second time today for your style of rhetoric here. Again, I know you can do.
Sure. Let me respond to that. I mean, first, I wish I heard more about the future in Israel, given that the peace deal looks very likely to break down. I wish I heard something more about that from my president. And I think, as people who support Israel, you would hope they would want to hear that. As far I think you referred to me as disgusting. I think you're applying a lot of intent. And
Okay,
you're right.
Again, you just misquoted me, Brent. I said that your argument was disgusting. I never said you were disgusting. And there's a major distinction between. Okay, we're out of time. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. So until 5 p.m. New York time tomorrow. For the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum, everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. Totally shat on Brent, whoever the fuck that fucking loser is. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, this is the Trump 2025 State of the Union speech. We'll see who we get to circle back. What up?
Please don't scroll.
in Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat.
Seeing red, so don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the. Said it was some Haitians, somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels. Have you seen Garfield?
Eat the cat.
Have you seen Snowball? It's about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you take my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat, eat the cat.
It's a shame, it's a pity. It's gone overseas where they said Hello Kitty. But it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing and they where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they got paid fat. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. And you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid fat. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. And you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy, wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
Discover your new Ford right now at Mercado Ford of Chicago. Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day. Please don't scroll.
go, guys. This one.
Subscribe to Scam Movie.
Is it here?
Yeah.
Subscribe. Subscribe podcast.
I'm currently engaged in a sound bath as I enter my hot bubble bath with peppermint oil and hand soap because I don't have good bubble bath solution.
Oh no.
But just let
That's gonna mess up your chakras.
just let the tuning fork flow over your body with positive healing vibrations. This is your undesired sound bath. Thank you very little. You can thank me later.
You know what this reminds me of? How he talks and stuff. You remember the Powerpuff Girls, the devil hymn?
Oh yeah.
Thank you very little. So did she date with the woman again who likes Drake?
No, she. I doubt. I don't know if I'll see her again. I'll text her, but I texted this other Polish girl that I went out with, and she didn't text me back. So I assume that's not happening.
You said missed. How do you write that?
MISC.
Okay. I'm gonna do it with Q.
Yeah, do it with the Q.
Oh, I like this little lamb looking weird stuff.
I think this person in front of me is a little drunk.
Driving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's going on with them.
Oh, that's good.
That's not good.
No, not.
I mean,
I was just
talking
thinking.
about him, the devil. Like, it literally popped in my Pinterest. That's crazy.
Gosh. They're listening to you.
They're listening. Hello.
Abby, did you hear that McZed filed for Nora to get her out of the psych ward?
He actually did, or was it a joke?
Could be a joke. I don't know.
So what's up with her? Like, I haven't really been on.
I was in a room where El Normo was like talking to these like terrorist assholes, and he was talking about her, and criticizing. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Diego, but I don't know, it's just kind of funny because he was talking about what she was talking about on the telephone with him, about how it was like a Mossad Zionist conspiracy and all kinds. I don't even know if El Normo was like, making a joke, or he actually does get a phone call from her and corresponds with her, but there's nothing new to report. I just thought it was kind of funny, and it was already like a couple days ago.
Yeah, she calls apparently with El Normo and under McZed, I guess, in Madrid.
I would just couldn't even imagine having to talk to her off of this app. I mean, I would immediately block the phone call and say, please use Clown
She had
House.
my Telegram like a really long time ago. She would send me paragraphs like for no reason.
Whoa.
I was like, oh, I'm not having this bitch. We were talking on the app or not. So I blocked it back in the days.
I was dating this Polish chick once, and on Valentine's Day, I took this other girl out, and I guess she looked at my Instagram. She saw my story or something, so she had like an emotional meltdown, and she just started doing like voice to chat messaging with me for like hours. Like we're talking like thousands of text messages of just her rambling, and it's just like, and it was a lot of it was violent death threats. And yeah, and then I think the next day I went out to my car and there were beer bottles all over my car, like like stuffed. But nothing was damaged, which was like a miracle. So I don't even know if it was her, but somebody intentionally put beer bottles all over my car. It was very weird, but yeah, I never, I wanted to see her again. She was a beautiful girl, but
she seemed into you.
she was
Otherwise, why would
psycho.
she get so upset?
She might have been into me, but I was seeing this other girl too at the same time who was also very nice. Now, what's ironic is that girl, like, I went to her house, like, I don't know, a couple months ago. I spent the night at her house and she was like, "Can we just not have sex? Can you just, like, sleep and cuddle me?" I was like, "Okay." But then after that, I never saw her again. Like, she doesn't, I've texted her. She's, like, trying to pass the bar exam, but she can't pass it because she's kind of stupid. So, sadly. Nice girl, but
There are too many options.
yeah, for her. I mean, she works downtown. She's an attorney, or she's gonna be an attorney. So she's with all these older men, and like she's on the dating apps. So that's the thing. When you're on the dating apps, it's like it is totally ridiculous to think that like you're gonna get into a serious relationship because they are running around and they're talking to so many people that it's just like being a social media influencer. Like they're dating their audience. That's what Tim Robinson says. They date the audience, they don't date the man. And it's just like all these chicks I've taken out for free dinners over the past month. It's like I'm one of 15 guys that have forked over for their dinners. Like, how am I any different than any of the 15, let alone probably not even in the top 3? So it's like, it's so stupid. It's so
do you
stupid.
always pay for dinner, or sometimes you're like, okay, let's split?
I've never let a poopa pay for my dinner. Like, if she insists
so
that she, yeah, I'm scheduling the date. Like, meet me here, bitch. And like, if she said, can you come to my town and take me out? It's like, bitch, I'm buying you dinner. It's like, you either meet me where I am proposing the dinner, or this date will not happen. I will maybe accommodate going to your area, but most likely not. Because I'm paying for it. And like, if a bitch is annoying and says like, can we go here instead? I already know she's trouble.
Yeah.
She's more trouble than she's worth. Very annoying. Very annoying people out there. But that's the thing about love, is it is like war, and that saying, love and in love and war, all is fair. So it's like, as the man, it's like, I'm going to battle with love. And she is, anyways, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like you can't have expectations because you never know how it's going to turn out. All you can do is engage in the struggle, the combat, the activity, the action, and then don't have any opinion about the outcome. That's like the essence of Zen. But after a while, you're just like, what is the point of feeding women? This is so stupid.
It's so expensive.
It's so expensive. I don't even get like more than like a little pack on the cheek, and it's like, it's like, what do you want to date? Or do you just want to go out on dates? I think that's what happens. So
that's crazy.
It's really obnoxious. It's like, you got to spend so much time trying to find one girlfriend. It's like, holy fuck. This is obnoxiously horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what I would. Dating apps seems like. I know, like, looking at my friends who, like, over here in Europe, who've encountered these men on here. Maybe they're really bad in picking these men, but all these men are losers. I mean, it's kind of scary. Like, my friend who's like a little older than us. I think she's like 34, 36. she's a very beautiful woman, like wow. And she's struggling to find a man she can marry to, because the men that she meets like are slightly older than her, like around end of 30, 40. And they are like, I still need to figure out who I am. I can't marry now. Or they still haven't figured themselves out. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, I don't think they have to figure themselves out. They just haven't met that right person because they're very picky. Like my mom has always been very, very picky, and it's much easier.
She your father.
Well, the point, no, the point is really it comes down to housing, and like it's easier to just like live in your own house and then meet up with somebody else in their house. But like to say, hey, move on into my house, it's like, you know what? I don't fucking think I want you living here anymore. Get the fuck out! You know? So it's like it's so much easier to date somebody if you have separate housing because it's technically like having a big room that you sleep in. So it's like if people can't even come to Clubhouse and have rational conversations peacefully, how the fuck can two people live together in close quarters in a house where somebody stinks and somebody's annoying and somebody's yelling and somebody's smoking and somebody... It's like if there's no peace in the home... I mean, obviously, if there's no peace in the clown house, there's no peace in the home. So I'm just saying that it's maybe dating and marriage is like ridiculous. Like if you had a bunch of money, you'd probably both have your own house, you know, maybe next to each other. But like, I don't know if that makes it makes sense. It's just like living together is difficult, you know, because people are just so comfortable having their privacy and like living by themselves. But when you get into a loving relationship, it's like, okay, now we get to create dopamine together. And if you don't want to create dopamine with me, well, then we're not really in a relationship. You're just using me. So, I don't know. That's my opinion.
Well, it is interesting you bring up the separate homes thing because it was the norm back in the day. I mean, if you were really wealthy, you would probably have separate wings of the house, but definitely separate rooms. And for people who are not as wealthy, they would probably have separate beds.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were making lots of kids, so they were still copulating, but they generally would have their own beds to sleep in because that degree of separation can be refreshing. I think if you are with somebody 24/7 all the time, it can be a little. It can test you.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to sleep, because sleeping with other people in your bed can be like it can negatively affect your own sleep, and then you're just cranky, and it never leads anywhere really good. But there's wisdom in that. Definitely having like separate rooms, separate beds, having like a little retreat to be able to leave and be in your own bubble. Like every time I go, because I really like going to museums and stuff, especially like when it's a piece of land that somebody donated and they try to like maintain the historic houses and stuff. And the one thing that like does always pop out to me, and it's so common, is they're like, okay, well this, husband and wife lived here, and right over here this was the wife's room, so this is where she all knew her stuff, and then down the hall over there this was the husband's room. Like it's always like that. There's always specific rooms for everybody, including the husband and the wife, and it's like very rarely are they like, yeah, this was the where like the husband and the wife slept. Like they usually had their own quarters.
Yeah, it's just so much easier to have your own bed, and then if you want to make love or if you want to spend, sleep together on a Saturday night, Friday night, or 2 nights a week, 3 nights, or whatever it is, it's just like more is not less. Like more is more, I mean, it's just, I think it's a question of just money, meaning a lot of people, have historically had to like fucking pinch pennies to survive. So, but,
that's true.
But yeah, I mean, most of these chicks, like a lot of them have their own houses, their own condos. So it's like, I don't know, maybe being like very explicitly clear, like, hey, I'm dating with intention. I want to have a kid. I want to get married. I want to start a life with you. I want to build dopamine with you. I want to have experiences. In many ways, it's like you have to say to a chick, I want to pay to build this relationship with you. And when a woman hears that, like, oh, you're gonna pay to start this? Ooh, that means we're going on vacation. Yeah. Where are we going? How much are you gonna spend on our development? You know? How much are you willing to invest on developing our relationship? You see how stupid that is? It's so stupid. It's like, okay, it's just like for a guy that's like fooling yourself. If you can't be happy now, if you can't develop a relationship now, then that person is incapable because they don't have the psychology. They're just they're just a drug addict to free shit. And I know so many women like that their pussies do not move unless there's a handbag attached to it or some type of like social media credibility experience. It's very fucking cringe, but humans are lazy as fuck and they don't move unless there's some kind of fucking free shit at the end of that journey or in the beginning of that fucking journey.
So if you could take a girl out for vacation at
Please don't scroll.
If like a chick wanted to go on like an affordable trip right now from Chicago, I would.
No, I'm saying to you, like, imagine now a girl and you dated her for like 10 times, and things are getting more serious, and you're gonna bring her somewhere. Where would you bring her?
Like locally?
I got a good answer. There's this hot girl in the Netherlands. I'd take her to Wisconsin.
To what? Like cheese factory or something?
Take her to a Packers game. Show her
Packers game? What the fuck is that?
$1,000 houses in Wisconsin.
Yeah. You could buy a really nice house in what is it called? Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yeah, for like $150,000 or even less.
Wisconsin is cheap.
It's very cheap. Yeah.
I would live there.
And income taxes are low. Property taxes are
That's
lower.
the joke.
But it's basically for rednecks. It's for the poor people that can't live in a major city.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I would.
There's a lot of beautiful women in Wisconsin, though, because it's cheaper. And so smart, hot chicks move to Wisconsin because they're like, I can get twice as much for my money here.
Smart and hot at the same time.
Plus, like a Chicago 7 is a Wisconsin 9.5.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, Q, come on. I've been in Chicago. It's okay.
There's only so many hot chicks, though. There's an abundance of fatties, like unbelievable amount of fatties. For like every one hot chick, which is like a 9 or a 10, you probably have like 800 fatties. It's like that high, you know. There's those many fatties and those many uglies.
Taking to Europe. Okay, where are you gonna take her?
I don't have a chick to take anywhere right now. What are you talking about?
No, if.
Take her to the fucking local pizza parlor and be like, here's a slice of cheese, bitch.
No holiday?
That's what you have to ask. Can you be a little more specific? Not like, where are you going to take her? Think about that.
No, I said you had them 10 times, everything goes well.
But South Beach, Miami. Just South Beach. I just fly to South Beach and spend,
you're
5 days
staying in
there.
America?
Yeah. Fuck taking some bitch international. Are you serious? It's like it's like a honeymoon thing. I mean, I don't have that kind of money. If I had the money, I wouldn't even be talking to you. Fuck.
Why are you doing this to me? I'm being nice to you.
Because I gotta keep it fucking real.
I drove my wife to Estes Park, which is just a shitty town in Colorado, for our honeymoon.
Where?
Estes Park.
Estes Park. Estes Park, Colorado.
I think it's like
I'm looking at houses in
It looks very beautiful.
That didn't really matter.
Damn.
It didn't matter.
Okay, where do you think my honeymoon is gonna be?
Diogenes' basement?
Auschwitz.
Fucking Auschwitz. Ew.
I'm joking. Whoa, what? Not my. Why's my.
Are you following Justin Bieber's mental health and physical health decline on Instagram?
What's up with that?
He's like a crack baby now.
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy.
Speaking of people that look like Lou.
No, Lou Witch, he looked like that. Are you crazy?
You said you haven't looked at him lately.
Wait, I want to go to Europe.
Right.
To be honest, like I'm kind of done with. I mean, on my websites here, that I'm shopping at. When it comes to travel, I'm done. Like I don't need to go on holiday with my man.
You don't have a man. What your fat ass needs to do is probably go to the gym before you go on a nice vacation.
How do you know I haven't?
You don't go to the gym, fatty.
Yeah.
My little N-word. Listen, the whole point is the gym is the best vacation. It's like, why would I want to take a fat hot chick to the Bahamas? It's like, fat bitch, go to the gym before you fucking go on vacation. Jeez Louise. Fatties.
Kate, I cannot find your bikini here. Oh my god, this website is fucking annoying. Mishki. Oh shit. Mishka or Mishki? Hold on.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it for you. Hold on. Are you looking at this website?
Done. Meshki. Meshki Europe. Let's go. I hope it redirects me to Europe. Sure. Where did you know this from?
I just found it on my travels on the internet.
Swimwear. Okay, when I come to Miami, Florida, I'm gonna get this one. I cannot wear the one you wear. I have big boobs, so it's not gonna work out.
You don't got big boobs, you got a fat body.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, you found it?
Damn.
Yeah, the exact one I have, I don't think they have it because it's kind of I got this last year, so it's.
Ah, yeah. No, I'm already on this website. There's some cute stuff.
Oh, Diogenes Spooner, let's get married and go to Auschwitz and see if we can do any archaeological digging to find out if the 6 million is real or if it's fake. The truth must come out, my beautiful husband. We will learn the truth either way.
No, I want to go to Philadelphia where the punk show.
Oh, Diogenes, did you choose this wedding music? Or was it the wedding planner? It's beautiful.
That's very good.
It's so beautiful.
Everything you pick is so beautiful, Diogenes. interested to go to Poland. I think you will like Azores, Edmund. You should bring your girl there. It's like the European Hawaii. Very zen. Especially during the autumn, there will be foggy weather everywhere. With the plants, it looks so much like dreamy. Oh, not you saying that.
Luigi Mangione. Ooh, anonymous sources close to Luigi Mangione told Radar Online that the alleged serial killer had filmed himself in at least 20 cinema-style porn videos.
Oh, hell no.
Ooh.
Are you gonna watch it?
No.
Me neither. I want him to be free, though.
Don't tell Ryan.
Please don't tell whatever the fuck that other gay guy's name is that loves to put his photo on his PTR. What's that guy's name? Julian?
He's apparently bisexual.
Well, tell Julian Mangione's got his porn videos out and I have exclusive access to him. He can just send me the cash app for $100.
I think it will work more with Ryan than with Julian.
Who are you trying to ping in too?
Ryan.
Julian.
He can't come in. He was kicked.
Oh, Ryan, yeah, Ryan got kicked.
What do you do? Fight with pussy.
He was making sex noises and I told him to shut up.
Maybe he found. Maybe it's too late. Maybe he already found the video. Who else?
Are you really? Do you really think? You know, Ryan is like living under the stone, right?
What do you mean?
Like everyone has seen the meme like for years and stuff. And then after 10 years, he will come like, "Oh my gosh, did you guys see this?" And he would just come across that meme that was like 10 years old.
Have you guys seen this little black kid singing "Chocolate Rain"? It's so funny.
No.
Oh, you're the Ryan then.
Well, I'm not American, so you have to forgive me.
Mod me. I'll pin it.
Oh, Ryan just messaged me, make a new room. Did you guys message him?
Mm-mm.
I pinged him. Does that?
No.
Can you ping people to room to even kick off?
He can come on his burner.
Just
He
create
probably just misses being in the room.
Yeah.
If you want, you can make a new one.
Just send him the.
I don't really care.
Send him the link to my YouTube channel. Just force him to watch me live.
Okay, I will do that.
That's pretty.
Which one do you want me to send?
Just go on YouTube and pull any one of them. I'm live on like 6 YouTubes.
Or should I go to your room and send him a link to your room? The meme movie?
No, just send me the YouTube link.
Okay, hold on. I have to find your YouTube now. I will find it, don't worry. YouTube. Subscribe podcast.
Oh, I changed my names. I'm rebranding everything.
I found it. No, this one is not live.
I know. Try, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about Ryan. He's like a fucking half alive human being.
What's the beaner that you're using?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter now, does it?
What matters to you?
What's going on right now? I'm looking at Hinge and there's just like all these beautiful women with their titties out in a bikini and I'm like, oh, the summertime is coming. I just talked to the guy at the harbor today to schedule when they put my boat in. They're putting it in April 2nd. So it's like only a month away. It's going to be a fun summer. Oh.
South Beach.
South Beach is amazing.
I was gonna be there. Then there was a hurricane.
I've been like all around the U.S. and I gotta say that's like the best beach town I think I've ever been to.
So you don't like California?
I do, but I kind of like the beach at Florida more. It's like compared to like Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach. It's bigger, it's better. I don't know. The ocean is like a little different, like the Pacific versus the Atlantic.
The beaches in Florida are better for sure. Better sand,
Yeah.
better water quality.
Yep. The Pacific has a lot of oil in it, and like when you go surfing, you come out and you got like oil splotches on your skin, and you're like, "What's that N word? What the fuck is that?" And you're like, "Holy shit, my skin is fucking like I got oil on me."
Okay, so when I was in Blue Lagoon, do you remember when I was in Iceland and I was so drunk?
Yeah.
I was so ashamed. When I was in Blue Lagoon, oh my god, this whole place was touristic. And all the brown people were in the water. I was like, fuck this shit. Imagine how fucking dirty the water is and how many people peed in there.
Yeah.
I know, I couldn't enjoy it. Like, my friend was like, let's stay here the whole day. I was like, bitch, I want to go in the shower and I want to leave.
Yeah. It's just like, when there's just, that is the thing about like a lot of these spots. It's like, it's cool when nobody's there, but the thing is like everybody's there. So it's just really crowded and gross.
Well, I was swimming in Thailand one time in like the most amazing warm blue water you've ever seen, and I'm surrounded by all these fish. So I pull my shorts down deep in the water and I just like pinch a huge loaf, and the fish swam up and ate my turd so fast it was unbelievable.
Ew.
It was so gross. I'm telling you, they were like waiting at my butthole to eat that shit. They don't like starving fish. They're just like something new, time to eat.
Where was it?
Thailand. We went to these like little channel islands or something. Most beautiful water you've ever seen. And I was like, I wonder what'll happen if I take a shit. Will they eat my shit? And yeah, sure enough, they gobbled it up in less than a second. I was like, I can't believe it. That was insane.
Like, what in your mind?
Couldn't believe how fast they ate that shit. But could you imagine being a fish and being so fucking hungry that it doesn't matter what you're about to eat? Like if it's a source of energy, you will eat it because you're gonna die. Like
energy.
It's not really. There's calories in the turd, so.
Ew. You basically have like you gave the fish the Dubai experience for IG influencers. Fish face full with Botox.
That makes me feel like a lot of people must be pooping in that water.
Yeah.
Like the fish are like used to it. They're like, oh, here comes a person.
Ooh.
You know what that means? Dinner time. Like, how often must this be happening for the fish to be so trained?
See, this is why I don't like traveling.
I mean, normally they're looking for like some string cheese, but like when a 6'3" bald-headed Jew pulls his pants down and releases all that, Thai chicken curry, like it's dinner for them too.
Everybody eats.
What's it called? Caterpillaring, or what's that horrific thing where you see somebody like they tie their face to somebody's ass?
Oh, that was human caterpillar.
Human caterpillar, yeah. Fucking gross.
So what in your mind was thinking, oh, this is a very clear body of water. Let me just shit in here.
It's human centipede. Human caterpillar is the Disney version.
Like, you must be sick in your head.
Oh, are you saying it's centipede? Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
No, if you go snorkeling enough, you realize the fish will eat anything that gets tossed to them. But I was also very, very nervous that somebody else from the boat was going to see me, like, dropping a loaf. So I kind of swam out from everybody else. I went down really deep, and the craziest thing is I swam down really deep, and then I saw all the fish like get coming near me, and then I was like, here we go, and like I had to have enough like distance, from like, anyways. Just saying, there was like an ergonomics to the release.
Yeah. Not the ergonomics.
Yeah, it was not my proudest moment, but it was also a remarkably.
Well, you learned something.
Well, you gotta understand, I had to drop a big loaf. It was like a huge release. It was a very cathartic moment because it was like executed perfectly. Because like where else was I gonna shit?
That's how you know you're God chosen person.
I don't even.
Like what was going through your mind? Like, let me go there. Like.
Wait, I got one more shit story for you. So I'm in the army, and we're in the barracks, and we come back from like an exhausting operation out in the forest, and I run up to the bathroom to like, and I'm always very fast. I'm trying to get like ahead of everybody, so I drop a load in a bathroom stall that's out of order. And then I realize that the toilet is broken, and I just shit in the toilet, but the toilet is broken.
Oh, shit.
So, like, literally a week later, our drill sergeant says, toe the line. We have a battalion inspection, and this place has to be fucking perfect. So he goes into the bathroom and starts kicking the door stalls in. And then he finally gets to the last stall, and it's my shit. And he goes, holy shit. One of you men took a shit in the out of order toilet. What the fuck were you thinking? It's out of order. It has a sign on it that says "Do not use." Who did this? Tell me right now, and I will forgive you. And I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not admitting to this." So he punished us for like an hour and a half. Push-ups after push-ups. And so finally.
Oh my God! Poor other people.
Yeah. So and as we're doing this intense workout, people are like, "Just admit it! Fucking fess up, you coward! You fucking coward!" So I'm like, they don't know it's me. I'm like, I'm not gonna admit. I didn't know until it was too late. I saw once I got out, I was like, oh no. So anyways, as we're working out like into the hour, this one kid that everybody really hated, he runs into the bathroom, and then he runs back out, and the drill sergeant is like, "What did you just do, Powell?" And he goes, "I took care of the shit, sir." And he goes, "What? How did you take care of it?" He goes, "I used my hands, drill sergeant." And he goes, "But it broke apart." And then he was like, "Ooh." He's like, "Well, that's fucking motivating." And he goes, "At least one of you is willing to try to solve the problem." But he's like, "You pieces of shit." So anyways, on the very last day, as we're graduating and we're in line, that kid who took my shit, he was standing in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Powell, by the way, remember when you took that turd out of the toilet? That was my shit." And he went ballistic, and he started a fight, but he was so crazed. He started a fight with somebody else, told him to shut the fuck up as he started yelling at me, and then that guy started a fight with him, and a fight broke out. And so the sergeant, the first sergeant of the company, he goes, "Powell, follow me." And he brings him to a broom closet, and he stuck him in a broom closet during the graduation. And so after the ceremony is over, there's a woman crying in the stands, and she's like, "I didn't see my son. Where is my son?" And the first sergeant says, "Is your son's name Powell?" And she says, "Yes." And she says, "Oh, your son's a fucking troublemaker. I put him in the broom closet. Come with me. You can collect your son from the closet." It was
No way.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
When you got to shit, you got to shit.
I guess so.
Ain't no holding back.
and you had so many options and you chose that fucking bathroom.
I was in such a rush I didn't even see it. I didn't even know until it was over, and I was like, oh my
that
god.
teaches you a lesson. Don't I feel like when you need to poop, already anticipate what you're gonna do beforehand for other people in the world.
I ran so quickly as soon as I saw that I made a mistake because I didn't want anybody seeing me because I didn't want to have to clean it up.
Always have a good plan. That's the moral of the story right here.
Well, now they know. Now it's all broadcasted on YouTube.
Yeah, well, those days are way past me now.
Well, maybe he still holds some resentment.
Resentment?
What if Powell is literally watching your live stream?
Yeah. Powell, if I were you, I would...
I'm pretty sure Powell died in like the Battle of fucking Baghdad or something. I don't think he's around anymore.
Imagine that the person cleaned up your shit or something like that about him.
During like after we finished everything, like before the people screaming in the bathroom, and I go into the bathroom, I'm like, is everybody okay in here? And they're like, yo, get over. Like, come here. I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're burning cross rifles into our arms. And I'm like, you're doing what? They were branding themselves. And when they stuck the metal cross rifles into their like shoulder, the fat from their skin was emulsifying, like licking, like dripping down their arms. And I was like, you sick fucks. I was like, look what you're doing to yourselves. And I was like, the pain must be insane. Like, you're burning yourselves. Like, I was like, they're like, but it will be forever. And I'm like, you guys are losers. Forever. I just laughed at him. I was like, good luck with that, you fucking losers.
Yeah, you losers. You fucking skeets.
Because I was like, this shit is over, and like, you guys want to like try to make it like more important than it really is. I was like, you know, I was like, you guys are pathetic. That's the way I felt about it.
They were trying to solidify the bonds of brotherhood, and you were like, you guys are a bunch of fucking dweebs.
Yeah.
Never speak to me again.
Totally pathetic. I was like, it really was. Because I was like higher than they were in the sense that like I had already been through like significant military training by the time I had gotten there. And I mean, it was like a new experience for all of them, and I had already been doing it all for a year. So I was like, you guys are just, I get it, like, this is new for you guys, but it's like, you guys are lame. This girl that I was dating here in Chicago that I really loved, I saw on her Instagram that she's, like, engaged and, like, getting married. And, like, when you see that, you're just like, oh my God, this is, like, so painful. And then you go on Hinge and you see like a 25-year-old like pressing her chest out to the sky, and you're like, what am I so upset about?
I love a man's mind.
It's true, because it's like you have one thought, or you see an image, you have a reaction, it's emotionally upsetting, and then you see another picture, another image, and you're like, what was I upset about? So what that tells you,
a woman, it goes on and on and on. Like, I'm upset.
That's for fatties. If you cleanse the mind and you clean it up.
That's not a really fatty thing. It's everyone, but it's just. Some girls cope in different ways. They cope it your way. Where am I? So about there's a bigger dick than this.
Yeah. Good Lord. These girls on Hinge just like post the most scandalous photos of themselves in bikinis.
Would you date a woman like that?
Yes, I went to a bar once, and this really ugly girl that I've seen on the dating apps, she like looked me right in the face. She looked to her friend and she was like, "See that fucking guy there? He screenshots girls' dating profiles and puts it on his Instagram." I fucking started laughing so hard because she's so ugly and fat. It was this is the funniest thing I ever heard. I was like, she ain't wrong.
Wait, how did she know?
I don't know. She must have have seen my stuff because I like geotag places. She is so hideous. Like she doesn't even. She looks ugly on her profile, but when you see her in the real world, you're like, holy shit, you are fucking hideous. She's like a blob. She's like a giant basketball. I mean, no offense, Abby. I know you're big, but we don't know how big.
I'm like a watermelon.
Well, Diagony Spooner probably likes that.
No, he doesn't.
He wants to split it.
This is how he supports Free Palestine. No, I'm joking. I'm so sad that the Palestinians took Istanbul as Palestine. Do you think I'm bigger or smaller than Jazzy?
Probably comparable. As far as I know, who the fuck knows?
Do you think I'm bigger or smaller than you?
Probably. I'm fucking 6'4", 6'3". I mean, you're definitely smaller
So
than me.
what? You're small. You're small, fatty.
There's so many fucking dating app scams. That's the other thing about about like talking to these girls. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm watching a photo of this power slap shit. Have you ever seen it when somebody's face like becomes completely dislocated and their eye like is immediately busted? Go to Power Slap on Instagram and you won't even believe. It should be illegal what they're doing. They're just like destroying people's faces. Like seriously, it's fucking sick. But I'm rebranding everything to meme, meme podcast, meme movie, meme art.
Why?
Because the Adrian Dittman thing is like stale. It's like nobody even cares, and it seems like people respond better to the term meme, and even better than subscribe now. Like I just feel like you have to just keep changing and changing, possibly, until you like come across like the right aesthetic. Like this meme, these things that the AI is putting out is very good. It's like literally being able to create The Simpsons with a prompt. It's like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Because I'm no graphic designer, but damn, this AI generated art is like fucking killing graphic designers. Like nobody needs a graphic designer anymore. It's like, what did you need to do for me? You need me to type in the prompt for you? It's brilliant. I mean, if you can't be creative now, you can never be creative. Like everyone can be creative. You need fucking 6 words. 3 words even. One fucking word.
That's your new name. Be creative now.
Somebody named Christina Marie wrote me on Instagram. I was dying yesterday. Great job. Do you know Stinny?
No.
She's some other Clubhouse user. She's got a lot of travel photos.
I think I know who she is. Yeah.
The profile's name.
There's some sort of Anne.
Yeah, the profile's name is called Stinny. S-Tinny. S-T-I-N-N-I.
Yeah, I've seen her. I thought that was Anne before.
I don't know, but I know she doesn't look like that.
No, she doesn't look like Anne, but I thought that she was Anne. Anne's burner. Does she even talk, or she's
No.
like? I think she's a fake accountant.
Yeah.
There's so many fake accounts recently.
Let's see what Throbbing and Christy are saying in the fake chat. I feel. Diogenes is married, Abby.
I know. How about yourself?
Me?
No, it's Robin.
I don't know.
I know who you are, Robin, so stop playing.
Ed.
Abby Eba knows who you are.
Danny was like in my room the other day. She is so annoying. She's like, but she's funny because she's trying to be funny, but like it's just not funny enough to be like more funny than it is annoying. So I just feel bad for her. It's like she's kind of like a chaotic person. She needs like some content or something. It's funny how the word content and contentment.
Are you feeling bad for her because she's Jewish, or?
No, because she's married, and it's like you come here and you say stupid shit all the time. It's like, are you really stupid? Like, are you actually this fucking stupid? Like, people are what they say, and when you hear her, you're just like, Jesus, like, what the fuck?
Yep. Imagine being married to a woman like that.
I mean, I just did eat half of a cheese pizza, but her husband is pretty fat. And, you know.
Yeah, but I think he's fat because he's unhappy.
But if you're unhappy, I mean, what can you do other than take your fat ass to the gym, you know, like read a book, smoke a little weed.
Has to work. He comes home.
He's
she's
exhausted.
on Clubhouse.
Yeah, I would be
he has
so
to take care of the
pissed.
food. He has to take care of the diapers.
I would be
he has
so
to take care
pissed.
of the whole household.
I would be so pissed if I came home and I'm like, "Hi, honey. Oh, my love, I'm home." And she's like, "Hold on, I'm not finished with this clubhouse room yet." And you're like, "Baby,
I don't
just."
think she talks like that. She's like, "Why are you talking? I'm talking here."
It's so crazy.
Yep. I will be pissed too.
I don't know. That's the thing. Is like, why get married? It's like, because now you have to get divorced. It's like, fuck that. It's like, why did we even get married?
I don't think he will divorce her. I think, given that he's Orthodox Christian, he'll just hold on to her until death. But she will definitely cause him early death.
Yeah. Just imagine like dying and you're like, "I would have lived longer, my love, but it was you. You were so fucking annoying, so obnoxious. You killed me, my love. But what else was I gonna do?"
Shit, I don't blame him. I cannot even stand her on Clubhouse, imagine.
She's like,
I didn't fucking kill you, you fucking asshole. It was those fucking 10 Slim Jims you eat every day, you fat piece of shit.
And imagine having a kid.
yeah. Kid's like,
Mommy, who are you talking to? Shut up! I'm on Clubhouse. You know what I'm on. Stop asking me what app I'm on. I bought you a phone for your birthday. Turn it on and use it.
Could you imagine? Oh my god. Ugh.
Have you ever heard people on? I've heard like women on Clubhouse talking like that before. One time I was in a room from that, Ion, the black gay guy. this is a long time ago. I was in a room of his once, and there was this chick that came up, and she was really drunk. And her kids were also playing in the same room, and she was trying to talk to people on Clubhouse, and she was trying to say something, but you could hear them like playing, and then suddenly she goes like, "Shut up! Get out of here! Go play somewhere else!" And you just hear them stop, and then you could hear them leaving the room. And it was like that was one of the craziest moments on Clubhouse. So I couldn't believe someone would talk to their kids like that because they were trying to have a Clubhouse space.
I can't believe, like, I've dated some chicks and I've heard them like yell at their mothers. I'm like, what? I'm like, how the fuck do you get away with disrespecting your mother like that? Like, you know, I mean, I've made fun of my mom plenty of times, but like, I didn't think it was like normal for a girl to like to go crazy on their mother, like intense, like, you know, really intense. You're like, Jesus Christ, whew. What's wrong with you?
It's like Diego.
Oh, you heard him yelling
Apparently
at her?
Diego doesn't like his mom.
So he yells at her?